You know what? I'm just gonna keep my hood up. It's raining right now. Welcome back to another episode. Great intro to Park Your Thoughts. Today I want to talk about limerence and how I realized recently it's been affecting me in my dating life. I kind of spoke before about how I don't really know what love is. And I think it's because I've just been in the infatuation stage and I've kind of been scared myself to always get out of that and pursue something real. I guess I should start from the beginning, from the very beginning. No, I'm joking. No, I just want to start from where I think it stems from. And that's definitely from the fact that when I was in secondary school, when I was younger, I was always seen as a baby. I was the short one, I had the high voice, I was the non-desirable, put it that way, amongst the people that I wanted to be accepted by. And I could always fit into different groups. I could float from different friendship group to friendship group, so I had that down pat. But when it came to love, I never was like the one they chose because, too short, high voice. And I think from then it kind of created like a core belief that I was never good enough. So I've always been trying to seek out validation from external sources. I feel like there's a much more deeper way of saying it. But when I hit record on these videos, I can never remember what I want to say. Yeah, so that now leads me into later life where I became a fearful avoidant. But I recently found out that limerence is a big part of the fearful avoidant, where like you can imagine being in a relationship and have all these imaginations, and then as soon as something doesn't meet those guidelines that you built up in your head, you just want to crash out and not pursue it anymore. And I had so many instances of that, of where like something's not going as I want it to go, so I then get scared and not want to continue. Hold my leg up. So I'll just pull out and not wanna, be a part of that. I must say now as well, now that I've done the internal work, I am a anxious attachment style through no fault of my own, and I'm okay with that because it just shows me that I've got more internal work to do. And also I've kind of realized now that it may not change until I have a healthy relationship with someone or have a healthy relationship with myself. We'll see, it'll go when it goes. But yeah, I can't fixate on that. I can't just sit here and not wanna, do shit because I'm an anxious style. No, I'll get over that eventually, and hopefully I do it before I find a partner. But hopefully I find a partner that's, healthy enough or secure enough to where I don't kind of just fix itself in a way. That's not the point of this anyway. How has limerence got involved in my previous relationships? And I can sit here and tell you it definitely has played a part. But also, I guess it wasn't even just limerence. It's that validation seeking. It's like kind of, the both have kind of merged into two. Whereas like the validation seeking that I get then leads into limerence. So like, there was a point in my life where I finally felt chosen by someone, and it drove me in a way of like wanting to be with this person, but not knowing how to go about it. We were friends at first and it was all cool. I really enjoyed that side of it, and I think that's how I became to realize that feelings may go deeper, but I wasn't allowing myself to feel that. But then actions started happening where it felt like I was being chosen, and it led me down a path of accepting that I actually might like this person. And I guess that was kind of a nervous feeling for me because I never really understood that side of myself. It was scary, just put it that way. And as soon as it started to like become something, I would do something to shut it down and shoot it dead. because it wasn't going the path I imagined it to. I wanted it to keep it a certain way. And I guess that's because I was scared of being hurt. I was scared of something going wrong. And that's definitely to do with traumas, by the way. Trauma has definitely got to do with something with that. And I know I've already been through the eternal work, so I already know what it was. I just can't, again, I hit record, my brain goes blank. I just really felt like I was nervous and scared anytime it wasn't in my way. I guess that sense of losing control really scared me. Yeah, I just got fucking nervous, man. That's the best way I can put it. I guess at that moment in time, she like triggered all the things in me that I needed. You know, they say a good partner or a good match helps you realize your trauma. And that was 100% what happened during this little spin that I went through. Fling, spin, I don't know what you can call it. She triggered the fact that I needed validation. She made me realize that I had a lot of trauma backed up in me, but I could only realize that once I was out of this situation, as you can call it a situationship. Don't get me wrong, there's also, I think I said this before, but there's also things that she done. Fucking hell, these crows. She triggered a lot of emotions within me that I didn't know were there. But I guess this leads to my point of, I want to talk about forgiveness as well. I saw a video the other day, and he basically says that forgiveness is a major part of your story and how you view yourself. And he then goes on to say something like how he wasn't ready to accept love in a certain point, and he has to forgive himself for that.
I think back on how I handled things, how I communicated or how I didn't, how I reacted instead of reflecting, how I loved them through the lens of my own fears instead of their needs. And I can see now that maybe the timing wasn't wrong. Maybe I was just still becoming the person I needed to be. And it's a humble realization to admit that sometimes love fails not because it was false, but because we weren't yet capable of sustaining it. And that doesn't make anyone the villain. It just means we met at a chapter where growth was still in progress. So I'm trying to forgive myself for the version of me who didn't know better yet, and to be grateful for the one who's still learning. Because maybe it's not about whether they were good enough for me, but whether I was ready enough for the love we were trying to build. See you tomorrow for day 100.
Yeah, I look back on that scenario and I really do have to forgive myself. I was operating through trauma. I was definitely loving her through my fears. It wasn't love at all. It was more just toxic infatuation in a way. We got along really well. I hadn't really had that other girl. She validated the fact that I can be chosen. I've never had that before in my life as well. And there were so many firsts for me that I thought that, damn, this is the one. It wasn't. And that's okay. Like, she was definitely put in my life to help me understand what my trauma is. I've been asked recently as well, like, oh, would you ever go back, or if you can, like, rewrite things. To be fair, I even thought, when it first ended, I was thinking those stuff myself, and my answer back then would have been, yeah, of course I would go back there and fix this and fix that. But now my answer is fuck no. And the reason why I say that, and that's no diss to her, is because I feel like if I say I want to go back now, then I'm saying that I didn't want to do all the internal work that I've already done. It's telling me that I want to abandon myself that I've gotten to now, and I just don't want to do that. Like, when I was with her, I was a whole different person. I was someone that was operating through their traumas and triggers, and not even through it. I was literally a walking trigger. I had so many problems that I had to work on, and I wouldn't have realized it if it didn't end. I was comfortable. I wasn't ready to like take that step forward, and I did. I eventually did. It's unbelievable how much I forgive myself. I actually took the steps to go to therapy, and I actually learned so much through it. And now I'm sitting here in the park talking about my thoughts, when before I would just go home and suppress. I guess my two main points from this video is limerence and how it's led to forgive myself. it deluded me to thinking that I was in a great place in my life. I still do. I'm not lying to you. Through dating now, I still have limerence. I still fixate on people, and learn how to not do that. It's hard. Like, it's so hard. But at least I know I'm doing it now. At least I know, like, okay, cool. Just because you had a connection with someone doesn't mean it has to work out. Okay, cool. You've got to know someone. Doesn't mean it's gonna work out. This imagination that you got of this person isn't real. I've messed up a lot of scenarios where I could have been in a potential relationship with a girl. And now I know that during a time, the ones that meant a lot definitely happened because it triggered some sort of trauma within me. Before, I would get so annoyed at myself and be like, oh, why couldn't you have just, been that way? And I could never have been that way because I didn't understand what the problem was. Now I do. Now I know how to work around it, and now I know how to not get so sad. It's hard, don't get me wrong, but I really do forgive myself because it's now led to this point of understanding, and I love that for me. I'm gonna keep that a buck. I do love that for me. It's raining heavier now. I've got to go because I don't want to be sat in this. Bye bye.